This channel supports St. Jude's Research Hospital for Children and is a part of their Play Live charity drive. For more information on how to join as well as how to donate, please head to the description and click the link at the top of it. Remember, any and all support is appreciated, so feel free to give and support in any way you can. Thank you for your participation.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak Magus, and so in this BM sports debate, we're going to talk about Colin Kaepernick. If you don't know, Colin Kaepernick made a pretty interesting political statement in their last preseason game for the San Francisco 49ers when he refused to stand for the National Anthem. That caught a lot of people's attention because it's considered to be disrespectful not to stand in attention for the National Anthem. Now, is it an actual rule? No, but it's like one of those unwritten, unspoken courtesies that people feel like you should do because it's your country's flag and you need to honor it. A lot of people also tend to attach it to showing a sign of respect for people in the military, which I personally don't think that's what it is, but we'll get into that probably a little later as this video goes on. So, after the game, of course, Colin Kaepernick was approached by the press, and they had lots of questions for him because this was a big deal. Remember Gabby Douglas not putting her hand on her heart and how she caught it big time in the Olympics, which something we've seen people do countless times. They stand in attention, but they don't put their hand on the heart. But people took that out of proportion. This guy didn't even stand, so you know they were going to go off on this. Now, I will be 100% honest with you guys. At first, when I heard this, I was like, this is, kind of odd because in one instance, I had respect if this was something that he was doing with real purpose. If this was his they said that he said after the game that he did so because it was in protest to what was going on in this country, especially when it comes to police violence and how they've been killing people and things like that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I can get behind that. That's a respectful reason. He feels like he needed to draw attention so he could make a serious political statement about something that is a bad stain on this country right now. It's something that's been highlighted way too much, and it's something that needs to be addressed in this country. Cool. But part of me was like, is he being serious? I wasn't sure because we've never seen this from Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? It's just something that he's not known for. It's something that a lot of athletes are not known for. But we've been thankfully getting a lot more athletes to try to show more consciousness as time goes on. And it's not just black athletes. It's white athletes. Athletes of all diversities are being more conscious. You know what I mean? Which is cool as hell. I like that. People are starting to pay more attention, which is something that's been needed for so long, and especially with athletes and movie stars and people of prominence who are well known. It's one thing for us, the little people, the nobodies, to speak our minds and complain. That's always going to be important, but attention is drawn a lot more when celebrities say it because a lot of people keep their eyes on celebrities. Our media focuses a lot of attention on celebrities. We follow a lot of what goes on in celebrity lives, and this is something great because it's like, if these quote unquote important people are coming out and speaking on it, then maybe it is serious. I hate that it's like that in our society, but it's kind of the way it is. But it's a good thing that at least they're willing to show like, hey, it's not just the quote unquote nobodies who feel this way. Everybody, there's a lot of people out there who feel this way, you know? So, you know, it's like, good on him. But if it wasn't him being serious, like, I will say this, I thought that it could have possibly been a way of him forcing San Francisco's hand, because he knows that they don't care for him. A lot of people feel like San Francisco is looking for an excuse to get rid of Colin Kaepernick, and this might have been his way of putting them in the hot seat. And I was thinking, that might be a possibility. I don't know. Well, I actually listened to his press conference after, and I have to say 100% after listening to that press conference, one, I've gained a lot of respect for that dude, and two, I no longer think that this is him like posturing or taking a stand in jest just to embarrass his team or anything like that. He seems like he's really committed to that, and I have to applaud him for it, because when you listen to that interview, and if I can find a clip, I will put it in the description, the guy spoke as if he was someone who seriously sat and thought about all of this and weighed it in his mind and made the decision that, you know what, I need to do something. I need to make a stand, and I need to make a statement. And that's why he sat, and he was very comfortable in his interview after and speaking his mind on why he did it. He wasn't rude. He wasn't, unpolite to the press, but he still maintained, a firm stance on his beliefs. People would ask him questions, and he would be like, I'm not sure what you're trying to get at, but that's not what my point is, and he would move on. He wouldn't argue with them. He wasn't disrespectful. He spoke his mind. He said how he felt, and he stood behind his decision. He gave good points. He talked about how when people questioned him about, people see this as a symbol of the military. Do you feel like you're being disrespectful to the military? He flat out said, look, this isn't me being this can't be me being disrespectful to them, because when you think about it, people in the military fought for our freedoms, our rights, and for justice. And what is happening now? People aren't getting justice. Their rights are being violated. This isn't what the military actually fought and died for in this country. So it can't be me disrespecting the flag, We need to fix the things that are being disrespectful, basically, was what he was saying, which is what's going on. So I thought that was a really good answer. He spoke about how he, how he felt about how police are trained, about how he felt like it's a shame that a cosmetologist has to go to school and get trained longer than a police officer, a guy who carries a gun and is set out there to protect us, is trained. Very good point. There's a lot of different professions where you need to be in school for, hell, I'm in school now, and I've taken about 2 years worth of classes to learn how to set up a computer network. Do I think that it should be that way? Yeah, you should have to take enough classes and go through the paces and learn these things. It should be even more for being a police officer, but like he said, it's only 6 months for you to come in, no training at all, become a police officer, get a gun, and be sent out there to do your job. So yeah, I honestly, I applaud Colin Kaepernick for what he did, for how he handled himself in that press conference, and for the thoughts and the ideas and the points that he brought, because he brought up some good food for conversation. He didn't come out and just sound like a clown, which I'm sure a lot of people was expecting to happen, since he's just a quote-unquote athlete, you know what I mean? But no, that dude, he was very passionate, he was very clear, and he knew his stuff. And I applaud him for taking a stance, and I hope that we'll see more athletes of all cultures, all races do that. Because remember, he's not a guy who's from the hood. he was adopted. He was raised by white parents. He's had like a pretty decent life. You know what I mean? He didn't live the life of a lot of black athletes that come into the league. So he could have stuck his head in the fucking sand and just went about his business. Like, hell, even if he wasn't in the league after this year, he's had a pretty decent career. He's made a lot of money. He could have just sat, been quiet. No, he didn't do that. He actually, put himself in a more precarious position. He's already being looked at as someone who's not wanted by his team. Now he's drawn this attention to him, but he stood behind that attention. He comes off as a very stand-up, genuine dude who seriously cares about this issue. And again, I hope that he becomes just like one of many examples of people out there of prominence who are willing to step up to the plate and fight for what's right. So again, hats off to Colin Kaepernick. I think he did a tremendous job. Again, if I can remember, I'll try to put the link in the description. But yeah, he gets respect for that. He gets a lot of respect for that, for real. But anyway, as always, please feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.